Welcome everybody with the wonderful, brilliant Dr. Marina Kostina. And she's going to be presenting a selfie of your spirit. Now, Marina's going to explain exactly what that's about over this next hour. And then afterwards, she's going to take you to a meditation for everybody. So I know I'm looking forward to this. If you could all keep your microphones off, just in case. We'll mute everyone anyway, but just enjoy the evening. You're going to learn some great new ideas about who we are, how we live, and everything else. It's going to be great. Okay, so where you go, Marina, enjoy yourself, and thanks for doing this for us.
Thank you so much, Freddie, for creating this amazing group and amazing space for me. Hello, everybody. If you want to talk to me, please talk to me through chat, where I'm going to have some interaction activities. So I am gonna unmute you if you want to participate, but I'm going to have a space for questions at the end. And then we're going to, before the meditation, so you can just cover it with the blankie and go to sleep, and don't need to talk to me after that. Okay, sounds good. Alrighty, so today I want to talk about how our energy and our Energo-Biology affects our physical body and our life. And this is the first time when I'm going to share publicly my personal health journey. It is a little bit scary for me because I never showed it and I never showed the pictures, but I love this group, so let's do it. All right, let me see. So this is me 10 years ago. I always was fit. I always participated in dancing and exercises, and suddenly something started happening with my belly. It was bloated. I gained a lot of fat, and I felt really bad. And this is my blood. As you see, this is a very weird looking blood cells. I'm going to show you how to compare those blood cells with the healthy cells. I don't know how to move yet. Here we go. All right. So the healthy blood cells, they look very full and they have aura around them. And as you see, they're perfect, almost perfect circles, right? And they don't interfere with each other. Now, these are my blood cells. These are the blood cells of a person who are pre-cancer, highest level of acidosis. I had absolutely no alkaline buffer in my body. So whatever I would eat, I would blow up like a 9 months pregnant lady. I had bleeding ulcers. There was liver and kidney issues, and my stomach and my esophagus also got affected. So I was a complete mess. That was 10 years ago. And of course, I decided to go with the traditional medicine. And traditional medicine put me on 3 different drugs. And they told me that I'm going to be for the rest of my life like that. Now, my belly was only getting bigger. If I went to a restaurant and ate like 1 leaf, seriously, I would have to blow up like that. And sorry, pardon my French, I have to unzip my pants because I just could not maintain all of this. It was like I was possessed. I didn't know what to do. I had no energy. I was depressed. And for somebody who knows me, I'm a very energetic person. And I could not imagine my life like that for the rest of my life, on all of these pills that made me drowsy and tired. And they really didn't help me with my bloatedness and with my pain. So I decided to go into the other realm, the realm that I knew from my childhood and I was always attracted to. And I started studying a lot, and I realized that actually our vitality lies in our aura, lies outside. Our health lies actually outside of our body. And our cells have aura. We have body with aura. Our earth has aura, atmosphere, that's what it is. It's a life's energy that protects us and creates that sense of energy and vitality. And I understood that that energy depended on alkalinity and water, on thoughts and emotions, and on our consciousness and energetic practices. And today I'm going to talk about that. For those who are new, I'm going to have some basic information. For those who are energy workers, I know there are lots of them here today. I hope you're going to learn something new today, because I'm going to bring some scientific research that you might not be aware of. So, about alkalinity, I'm not going to talk much. I just want to mention that I was for 2 years eating greens, and I needed to just completely change my biology. And I was introduced to the work of, this is Chris Carr, very famous student of Dr. Young, in case you want to Google them. But there were many presentations in this group about alkalinity and fasting and all of that stuff. So I'm not going to talk much about it, but this is an important component. But what I learned from their work is that diseases, they don't live in alkaline environment. Chris Carr has a 4th stage of cancer of lungs, which is impossible to treat. And thankfully, she's been around and for a long time, because she completely adopted the alkaline style. Now, alkalinity and toxicity are not just the food, but our thoughts, our emotions, and our environment. So those are the things that we need to really consider. Now, our thoughts and our emotions have power. The work of Dr. Masaru Emoto, probably many of you know, he's a Japanese scientist, and he has the whole lab in Japan where they study the consciousness of water, and they show you how your thoughts and how the toxicity affects your structure. These are awesome. Let me move somehow. I'm going to move here. I need to figure out how to do this mirror imaging. So these are the images of water. And they found that the water that is taken from the toxic environment has a different crystallization than the water from clean sources. They also found that if you find water, and if you are going to send intention over that water, it crystallizes in a different way. For instance, we have this crystallization of love and gratitude, and then we have you disgust me. You see how different, right? Then we have eternal love, we have peace, and then we have evil, right? So you see the structure is completely different, which is pretty fascinating. And especially understanding that we are mostly water. So all of those thoughts that we tell ourselves, can you imagine what they produce and what crystallization within us we create? I've always been a very positive and very energetic person, but my self-talk was never positive. Okay, I always put myself down. I always doubted myself, and years after years, and of course the food and the environment that I chose, they affected me that way. Now, Dr. Emoto also found that even if you take the water from the toxic environment and you do some prayer or meditation over it, you can change its structure. Look at this beautiful samples. So the bottom structure is from a toxic source, and then we have crystallized completely different, harmonious, beautiful structure when it was done, when the water had prayers over it with Buddhist monks. So that's pretty fascinating. Now, I also started studying Dr. Bruce Lipton. Many of you know of him. He's the author of The Biology of Belief and many other books. And what he also said the same thing, that the diseases, they're caused by foods, but also by thoughts and by our emotions. So it's a combination of the two. And he also tries to convince everybody, and he has really great research on how genes do not really matter that much as the environment. So what he did, he had an experiment where he had stem cells, and he put them in 3 Petri dishes, okay? It was actually, he cloned a stem, so it was the same identical genes. And he put them in different environments, and the stems produced other stems in a different way, depending on the environment. So the conclusion here is that the environment that you surround yourself with affects you, affects the organism. Who do you hang out with on a daily basis? Who do you live with? Who do you share your life with? I remember in my college years, all after parties were in my place, right? And I remember standing in my kitchen and there were 50 people and I looked around, I'm like, I don't know any of them. So that was me before. And now after all of this work, I love people, I'm very social, but I'm very, very selective with who is spending time with me, who I spend time with, and who I invite, even in my home or in my life. So that's something to remember. Now, so environment affects the organism, but we're also affect the environment. I need a volunteer, please. Who can be my volunteer? Come on, Vincent, I see you're smiling. I'm gonna pick on you, okay? Thank you, I volunteered you. See, I used to be a high school teacher, so that's how we volunteer. All right, Vincent, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would like for you to actually get up because there's something about standing that the energy is there. So I want everybody to please look, watch my hands. There is no tricks. I'm not a magician, okay? I'm just gonna show you. And Vincent, can you close your eyes, please? I don't see your face, so I'm gonna trust that you close your eyes. And I would like for you to start thinking of something sad. Something, maybe an event, a fight, maybe some sad loss of somebody. And I want you, everybody, to please watch. Hold on, they got tangled. Watch my rods here. Everybody sees, right? I'm gonna, I don't know, screen like this. You see, right? Wonderful. Vincent, keep your eyes closed, please. And can you please start thinking of somebody you love? Just think of a person you love the most, like Freddie always tells us, that's the most beautiful energy. And here are my hands. Here are my hands. Beautiful. All right, Vincent, thank you so much. You can sit down. I want to show you. Just look at your energy right here, right here. Do you see how powerful you are? The energy opens, right? When you think of somebody you love, when you were thinking of somebody, of a sad event, your energy was like this, right? So we close our energy and we expand. Okay, this is still woo-woo thing, but I want you to kind of keep it in mind because I'm going to give you research on this, okay? So I understood that we also affect our environment. So whenever you bring that energy into your home, right? Be careful. What are you bringing into your home? What are you bringing to your clients, to your friends? Of course, most of us know that this energy, this aura, right? This is not a new concept, right? This comes from many different cultures and traditions, but also there's a bioenergetic anatomy. I'm not going to talk much about it because the whole session on this can be dedicated to that. But just for those who are newbies to this, I just want to kind of invite you to consider that you have more than one body. Around your body, there are 7 layers of bodies, and all of them, these bodies, they are affecting you in different ways, and they have different purposes. Now, these 7 bodies, they're connected with 7 chakras. There are more chakras, but there are 7 main chakras. Chakras are energy centers located along our spine, as you can see on this picture, and they are really energy centers that are responsible for different areas of your life. Now, we also have the universal energy flows through our body, through these chakras, based on the 3 channels, main channels, and also different meridians. So whenever our body receives energy, right? If everything is open, if everything is functioning well, then our organs, our psychological state, our emotions, they are balanced. If there is a block, then that part of your life that this chakra is responsible for example, is blocked, but also is the entire system, because we're systematic people, right? Now, I'm going to show you how this, so yes, and actually from the ancient times, we also see these auras, right, portrayed as halos, right, of the sails. So that's pretty much that glowing energy. That's what the aura is. Now I'm going to show you. So this is how chakras work. They are energy centers, right? Look at my hand again. There's a little bit of movement because there is a lot of energy everywhere. But look what happens now. Am I doing it with my upper hand? Doesn't matter how far I go. Woo, my hand disappears. This whole technology. Look how far. My hand is far and this is moving. Am I doing it with my upper hand? Okay, I'm going to do something freaky. I'm not even looking at it because some people think I'm doing it with my eyes. I'm going to bring it right here and it starts moving. Now, I know there are lots of hypnotists here. I know there are lots of mentalists here. So, and there are lots of people who do use magic. Maybe you think it's magic. It's really not, but I will explain scientifically in the second section of this presentation. But these chakras, I opened them when I decided to do energy healing, and they opened them up for me, and now the energy flows. Okay, you have them too, and you probably, somebody said that I only see Marina. Huh. Okay, does everybody see? Can you show me and my slides? Yeah, okay, so maybe it's one person. Okay, so you have these chakras too. They might be blocked, but whenever you have pain, you put your hands there and it kind of calms it down, doesn't it? So there is something going on. Now, I'm talking still woo-woo for you, I understand. Now, I decided that I love both worlds. I love the science and I love this whole magical place. And I could not find myself just belonging to one camp. So I needed to bring that together, okay, and create that practice for myself, that worldview, and also that is what I use for my business. I combine research and energy work. This presentation from right now is going to be based on 161 peer-reviewed articles and conference presentations from the years of 2000 to 2020. So even though I'm not going to use scientific language, so you don't fall asleep here on me, this is everything that I'm going to say from now on is going to be completely research-based, okay, with studies and peer-reviewed published studies. Now, this is the research actually, and the science of energy actually is not a new science. In the beginning of the, somebody's dog is barking or something. I'm gonna mute you guys, okay, sorry. Okay, I think like, So in the beginning of the 19th century, there was this Belarusian scientist who got his education in Western Europe, and Narkevich Yotko. And one day he came home to his home village in Belarusia, and he was walking on the street, and a peasant saw him, and he said, "Wow, you have such a beautiful glow around you." Now, this scientist did not just say, "Oh my goodness, it's like just peasant, maybe he's drunk or whatever." He locked himself in the house for 5 years, and he developed an instrument that later on received a name of electrograph. This is an instrument that really can capture the shiny auras from the hands. Now, there were many other scientists after him that were making this equipment better and better. And of course, Nikola Tesla is somebody that we recognize too. He was also mentioning that the bodies are glowing. And he always says that if you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, later on, in the 30s of the last century, 1930s, a Russian couple, Kirlians, they actually observed when they were observing a patient that was receiving treatment from a high frequency electrical generation, they saw that when electrodes were getting closer to the patient's skin, there was a glow similar to a neon discharge tube. So they understood that there was something there, and they dedicated their entire life to creating Kirlian photography. This is the photography. This is not photoshopped. This is done with their technology that shows that everything, every organism, the flowers, the leaves, the food, people will all have that glow. And Kirlian photography is done through the process that uses pulses of high frequency, high voltage and high frequencies, and with electron cascades. And they take a picture of things that are usually invisible, right? Of that radiating energy field that we all have. So this is a pretty amazing invention, and there is a lot. The modern science is based on that. So we have modern aura and biofield devices. This is my device, my hand. And this is a picture of the lady. I mean, I've done thousands of energy scans, analysis using this device. Really cool device. It uses, again, the ideas of Tesla and Kirlian. And you put your hands on it, and then it scans your hands, and you have a picture of yourself. And then I'm going to show you picture of your entire body there. So this is a modern type of equipment. This is another type of equipment. This is an equipment called GVD or GDV, sorry. You put your fingers into that equipment and it registers photons. What are photons? Lights, right? That are emitted from the fingers of the hand during the stimulation of very short electrical impulses. And based on the Eastern philosophy, we know the picture of the energy and auras. We already talked about this, right? I'm going to move a little bit here so you can see. And because of this glow or no glow, we can see where a person has a problem. Now, in modern traditional medicine, you go to a doctor when you already have a problem, right? There is something hurts. And then they can look at that area, and then the problem can be 5 centimeters to the right, and they notice it, right? Now, with this equipment, you can see where is not enough energy, and there's lots of different parameters. Actually, I'm going to show you. It's a complicated system. So you can see how the energy flows, what organs are affected, what's going on with your psychological state, anything pretty much. So it's a use for preventative measures in medicine and also in psychology and things like that. Now, since we talked about aura, and that aura is your protective mechanism, your aura is your shell. It is something that allows you to be alive. The strength and size of the aura, it really shows the strength of your life, right? Of how healthy you are or not. Now, what about death? This is pretty amazing. So I'm going to be a little bit emotional here because it really resonates with me. This is a picture, and I'm trying to get out of here so you can see. This is a picture of a person who is dying. I'm not here to convince you to believe in spirit, soul, whatever, but there is something happening on the level. This is a picture, they can actually capture it. So this is captured by Russian scientist and Dr. Konstantin Korotkov, one of my teachers. And they use gas discharge visualization method. And they actually, it's like an advanced Kirlian technique. And they show that this something, whatever we call it, is leaving the body when we die. And this something leaves the navel and the head quicker. That's the first thing that goes. And then the groin and the heart keeps that for longer. And this technique actually is accepted by Russian health ministry because they really showed incredible data. This has been done since 1990s. Okay, in 1990s they did this death experiments, and stimulated electrophotonic light around the fingers of the person really has very comprehensive information about their physiology, psychology, about their emotional state, about very many things, right? And we can see in the aura, you can see people's personality traits, their motivations, their heartbreaks. I can see if a person had some sexual violation in their life, if they use drugs, if they drink or they lie. So it's a pretty amazing thing. And, you know, modern medicine often cannot really register the time of the death. Imagine a person is in coma, and he's hooked on all of this equipment, and they just keep going and going and going and going, and the person can be already dead, but it just keeps going and going. And I personally had experience, fortunate or unfortunate, I don't know, I had several people that died right in my hands in my life. And if you ever had that experience, you know that there is something there. My grandmother was dying in Russia, and we were here with my mother in the United States. And we flew to Russia. And when we came to the hospital, she was already in coma. Okay, so she was laying there, hooked on the equipment. And we sat down by her, holding her hand for 4 days and 4 nights, because we were afraid that she's gonna come to consciousness and be alone. So we sat there, like literally leaving for bathroom breaks one at a time and grabbing something, food. And I remember sitting at night, it was December 18th, kind of interesting timing for this presentation. And probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, we were holding her hand, and both of us said, oh, that's it. I felt that something left her body, and I will explain to you from scientific point right now. And the machine still kept going. Nothing changed in the machines, but my mom and I, we both looked at each other and we said the same thing, and we left the room because for us that was already done. And then the next day, she's actually was pronounced dead on the 19th, but we know that it happened much earlier. Same thing happened when I was a little girl, and we were walking with my uncle who had a heart attack, and my mom ran to ask for help, and he died right in my hands. And when he died, he became lighter, and just he's had some sort of like liquid coming out of his nose, right? So this was kind of a very traumatic experience, of course. But now with this research, they measure the body after 3, 5, 6 days and things like that. And it's interesting that the moment of death by this equipment can actually be measured, even in those conditions when the people are in coma and when there is still equipment, all of the equipment is moving. So they show that all parameters that are used in that equipment, they change. And the person loses between 5 to 20 grams, whatever you call it. We can call it evaporation, we can call it gas, right? We can call it the last breath, but something happens in the moment of death. Now, they went even deeper with this research, and they showed that the glow that surrounds us, our aura, biofield, scientific term, changes in a different way based on the type of death a person had. These are all studies, I mean, published. If a person had a calm death, for example, old age, right? His or her glow gradually decreases, right? Over several days. If it is an accident, something sudden, right? A person is full of life and something happens, then for half of the day, his fingers have incredibly bright sparks much higher than when they were alive, right? When he's alive. And then they decrease rapidly. And then for those people who were killed or committed suicide, in other ways, those people that in the last moment understood and had unpleasant realization, this is it, the glow went in curves. The curves went up and down for about 5 to 6 days, which is kind of interesting. You know, it brings us to parallel ideas in different religions, right? How the body lives, the spirit lives the body, and things like that. Again, I am not here to talk about the philosophy, right? I'm just here to show you the science behind that. There is a question. Can you tell what's going on with the death just based on the picture? Good question. This is the picture I'm going to show you that I myself had. This is my aura reading of my friend who came to me 3 years ago. And, you know, on the surface, amazing guy, salsero, danced, powerful, happy, handsome, successful. You would never tell. And as you see in his aura, now you're going to be all experts in reading the aura. You can see, I don't know, everything disappears. This is a magical presentation. You can see that his aura is not, look at the, compared to the aura of, you know, the white aura, that's the healthy person's aura. And this is his aura. As you see, it all, it cuts off on the head, it cuts off on the sides. There's a lot of darkness and holes. So I told him, I said, you have a very dangerous situation here. Are you using recreational drugs? And, you know, he was very successful and he said, no. And, you know, he really, I was trying to help him, but he really did not want to admit. And after 6 or 7 months after, he died. And as you see on this aura, the area of the chest is especially affected. He died from heart attack caused by overdose of drugs. So, which shows you that aura is really, you can tell when people get sick. By the way, in the research of Dr. Korotkov, they show that before a person dies, you know, natural cause or whatever from illness, something shifts in the aura about 6 to 7 months. And this is my client, okay, that I found that was true. Now, this is so amazing and interesting. I would love to know a book you can suggest. There are no books yet. We will talk during the question session, just so I don't get distracted, but I'm happy to answer all questions. So please put them here and then I will go and scroll through them, okay? So I'm not ignoring you. Now, we talked about death, heavy subject. Let's talk about love. Now, love is a favorite topic of Freddie, and that's where really the magic happens, right? When we feel love, we're already hypnotized, right? Now, when two people are in love, we already know from the studies of Joe Dispenza, Dr. Dispenza, that there is a big magnetic field that is formed around our heart, right? And it has that very healing, positive energy on the environment. But what else is very interesting is that when we do the biofeedback, this GDV studies, when the fingers, the tips of the fingers, right, were measured, right, based on the laws of physics, this glow has to push back. And when there was a study where two people that were not connected with each other emotionally, right, they created a border. There was a very distinct border between them, right, of their glow. So my glow ends here, yours is here. But those people who were in love, and they measured it with the people who are newly in love, with the older couples that maintain that loving feeling over their life, with mother and daughter, with friends, then the glow of one penetrates the glow of the other. And it's scientifically registered and proven. So you form one aura together. So your two auras are together. And that's why it's so hard when we have breakups, when we separate, when we lose people that we love, because we become one. We really do. And, you know, all of these metaphors about love, they are true from the scientific point of view. All right, let's move on. Now, what else can we say? We can also, we kind of know from the New Age philosophy, right, that thoughts are material, right? You probably have had situations when you thought of somebody and they, boom, call you. I always have it. I'm thinking of somebody in Russia, they text me. How does it happen, right? Now, thoughts are definitely material and they affect material world. And there is a so-called paradox of Einstein, Podolsky, and Rosanna that was formulated in the 30s of the last century. And it says that if two particles come out from the atom in different directions, right? They should have different quantities, the quantum numbers and the different polarization, right, of photons. And they, you know, imagine they're far away from each other. They move at on different sides, right? And there's a huge distance between them, right? So there should be having different polarity. And it's impossible, right, to have anything else. Yet the science found that it's possible. And all of the ideas of the quantum computing are based on that, that we are also, we're quantum objects. And that, for example, another example, you have a remote start of your car, right? So what happens? You send a certain radio frequency information to that object, right? That starts some sort of function. So that's the same thing with our thoughts, okay? So be careful what you think about. You really become what you are, and you affect the environment around you. All right, let's move on. Now, since you are so awesome and participating, what I would like for you to do to check that you're not falling asleep yet, we are going to have an engaging activity. You are going to put a researcher hat on, and we're going to analyze the auras. I'm going to move away, and I want you to put, please, in the chat right now, we're asking a question. Whose aura do you think is the healthiest one here? A, B, C, D. Put whatever you think it is, and I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds to analyze. Okay. All right. Thank you for participation. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're not asleep yet. That's a good sign. So the aura that is actually the correct answer is D, even though I will tell you that all of them have issues. Why D? Has bigger aura. There are some unevenness, but at least it's bigger than B. Whew, too squeezed in. C has a lot of darkness in it, and A, probably a drug addict. Oh, oops, did I answer the question? Yes, I did. Okay, it's okay. Sorry about that. Okay, the question, next question, who uses drugs? Okay, I said A is using drugs. Who else might use drugs? Give me the answers. Thank you. Yes, I would say definitely A. Maybe D, but C definitely. Sorry, I need to hydrate myself here. Yes, but definitely C, A. There's a lot of holes in the aura. The aura is not as solid. If you see, there is a solid space in the aura. And when there is like kind of rupture, so any types of drugs, actually even pot, breaks the aura. So I am not really happy about the new laws about marijuana. Sorry, guys. All right. So who has an enemy? Who has an enemy? Oh, no, sorry, I missed. Who had some sort of either rape or abortion? I mean, with this instrument, we cannot have details like that, but either rape or abortion or some sort of traumatic experience. Why C for drugs is because there's a lot of holes in that aura, actually ripped, completely ripped. Wow, nice. Yes. I would say good for you, good. A and B, yes, absolutely. Yes, Marie Watson. Superstar answered both of them and everybody did pretty good. A and B. A, you cannot almost see the root chakra, right? And there's a lot of darkness here. B, it's squeezed right here, right? Usually like as if by some sort of traumatic experience. That's what happens. Very good. Okay, so you can also tell me, this is a difficult one. And this is, I don't know if there is a scientific proof to that. This is more my intuitive, I've never seen research showing that, but in my thousands of scans, when this shows up in the aura, that usually means enemy. Who has, I'm gonna move, who might have a big enemy who does not wish you good, that person good? Let's see, I know, I'm sorry, that's a difficult one. I'm gonna move. Yes, C. As you see, behind their shoulder, there is a very big hole. It's like almost somebody standing behind it. I don't know how to explain it. That usually, that is definitely my personal intuition, but that's been proven at least by my data. So that is, these are people, these are auras of the life people, not deceased. Yeah, like a shadow. Yeah, like a shadow, really kind of nasty shadow. Absolutely. Now, for who it is hard to love? Who has a difficulty in love? Actually just giving love, the difficulty in giving love. You guys are good. You guys are good. You know, I would say that A, B, C, they definitely have issues in love. B and C have issues of dissolving in love. When they fall in love, they get codependent because all of their chakras are connected with each other. So their self-esteem, their identity is connected with whether they're in love or not. But A is the one who has very small chakra. There's a lot of blockage there and darkness around. So usually it's either resentment or trauma or some grief. And that person does not show their, doesn't open the heart. Very good. All right, the last one, since you're such superstars, okay, everybody's hired, okay? All right, now, who you think has nightmares or sleep issues? Who do you think have nightmares or sleep issues? I'm gonna move, sorry. You can see I have my green screen here, I disappear, but that's okay. Most of you are correct, absolutely. A, C, D might have some, maybe not nightmares, but difficulty sleeping. There is almost no protection here, almost no protections, right? Very good, very good. All right, sounds good. I'm gonna answer everybody's questions individual after there will be time, okay? Just so we can move on and I don't keep everybody too much. Thank you very much. Now, this is Kanye West, right? Everybody knows Kanye West. Now, he came to me 3 times. I actually had Kanye 3 times. And his entire team came to me too when he was in Chicago 2 years ago. Now, whatever you feel about Kanye, I really cannot, you know, I'm not here to talk about his personality or whatever. He was actually a pretty cool dude when he came to me, absolutely laid back. But his phenomena, what is it? What do I mean by that? He grew up in a very modest family. His mother was a professor at the University of Chicago, and his father was not present in his life until the later age. And he really struggled. You know, he enrolled in the university, then he felt that it was not his. He flunked out, and then he tried to work with rappers, writing lyrics for them, but they were famous because of that, and he wasn't. And then just recently, maybe 10 years ago, right? He had his breakthrough, and now he is the most well-paid, one of the most well-paid performers. He received, I think, at least last year, until last year, he was he received the most number of Grammy Awards. He has very successful clothing line and other different things. So he manifested a lot of things, right? Now, look at his aura. Do you see? I was very surprised that a person who is in entertainment industry, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that he has such a solid aura. He does a lot of practices. He does a lot of energy practices, and whatever he's done, that's not here to discuss, but he is clearing his aura constantly and working on it. And look at the size of that aura. And what is the interesting thing is that, you know, when I ask him to rate himself on the scale from 0 to 10, you know, like we have that coaching wheel of wellness, right? Where is he in financial or abundance area? He said 9. And I'm like, really, Kanye? Then I'm like -10 if you are 9. And what he said, just really, I had goosebumps. We were just sitting. He doesn't need to impress me. You know, it's not like he's speaking for a political campaign here. He told me that I cannot rate myself as 10 if there are people that are suffering and they're in poverty. And he said it very sincerely. And I just thought, what an incredible thing, because I read a long time ago in Think and Grow Rich that you are not only expanding your abundance according to how big your dreams are, but his abundance includes global abundance. And that is how you really scale. This is how you really become that powerful in many ways, right? Whether you like him or not, ways. So I believe that this is a proof for all of us that, yes, of course, he's a talented guy, but there are thousands of other talented guys. There is something about working on your energy and working on your consciousness and expanding your consciousness. You don't have to be Kanye. We don't have to create billions of dollars, but whatever that abundance means for you, you can do it by just understanding that your energy and expanding that energy field around you. All right. Now, let's talk. Oh, my goodness, I am so behind. How did it happen? I talk too much. All right, very quickly, I just wanted to show you some studies in medicine that show up in the aura, right? These are 3 pictures of aura of the healthy person. B is a person with a positive prediction of the pancreatic cancer, and the negative one. Prognosis, sorry. So as you see, the healthy person's aura is very thick. The person who might still survive is kind of like, you know, messy a little bit, right? And the C is, of course, completely torn. Interesting findings that there is a research again on this glow and aura that shows that, yes, it shows that there's a low energy activity in the zones of gastrointestinal tract, immune system, cerebral cortex, and all of the different areas that the modern medicine confirms. But the equipment could show that there are some zones that are unique for autism, right? Epiphysis, kidneys, adrenal gland, a cervical zone, thorax zone, and sacrum. And they also found special zones that are found only in the autistic siblings and not found in brothers and sisters. And the same thing about their parents. So with that in mind, these instruments, this kind of equipment and this research can really redefine the portrait of the person with autism and also give predictions for the parents. Now, there are no time constraints. Everybody's loving this. Please do not rush. Okay, thank you, Freddie. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I even like practice it speaking like I always do and type myself. I don't know what happened. In mental disorders, we can also see that this kind of research can predict, I don't know where to stand, mental disorders, anxiety and burning out. And if there is a high level parameters called entropy that we use in that equipment that indicates mental disorder and schizophrenia, even inclination. And if that entropy is low, that we show that the individual is about like to burn out and really running out of options. And we can also see the levels of anxiety and also openness and agreeableness of the person based on their aura and their energy. Now, the coolest thing is that this research is actually accepted by the Russian Ministry of Sports. And they use this research for preparation for Olympic and Paralympic Games. And for those who are in London, they used it for Paralympic Games in 2012, where in London, where Russian team got a second place and actually received the reward from the Ministry of Sports. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now, we can talk about many different medical conditions. There's a lot of research. I really am not going to cite all 161 studies. And I want to highlight just different also research that's done on non-traditional treatments and how they show improvement of that energy flow and hence, healing that is happening on the physical level. So for example, the studies in hydrogen peroxide treatment, right? There were 1,500 patients in that research, right? And they showed that the deficient zones that were before the treatment in local zones, right? They disappeared and decreased. So that was a pretty cool study. Also, an interesting several studies on acupuncture where they used real, true and false acupuncture points. And you can see on the equipment that when you use the true points, then the energy flows and starts expanding. While if you just do the false ones, nothing happens. So acupuncture, pretty cool. Also, there is a study on systemic medicine by Jose Alalde, which is a very famous Venezuelan doctor that works with degenerative diseases. And the patients were evaluated before the treatment and then after several treatments. And with each treatment, so after the first treatment, the aura grew by 27.7%. Then the next time by 26%. And then the next time by 28.4%. So they have really amazing research and really great results for cancer, for lupus, things like that. And the equipment shows it. In light therapy, of course, after the treatment, there was a bigger density of luminescent glow around the person. So light therapy is also very legit. Now, I found that the studies on music therapy were especially fascinating because music is a frequency environment. And it's that's why frequency of the music should harmonize with the frequency of the person, right? That's why we don't like the same music maybe sometimes, right? And the studies found that the live music compared to the radio music actually transforms the energy of the environment. So that's why people after opera, after live concert, you can actually detect the changes in the place where it's happening. There was also another interesting study of 20 drug addicts, the teenagers, and they were also using music therapy, listening to Russian spiritual music and things like that. And they found that before the study, all of their energy was disbalanced, and then it was completely balanced out. And that actually was correlating with the a lower anxiety, 80%, less aggression, 90%, and those who had phobias, they had better sleep and recovered from tic and recovered their memory. So that's pretty amazing. And they also had studies for different types of music. For example, the Symphony Number 6 by Tchaikovsky, it expands the area of luminescence by 53.8%. And here I give you other, the Mozart, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Bach, and the studies also showed that different music affects different generations differently too. I can't believe I am running out of time. Okay. And my slides don't move. Okay. So I want to, it's almost 1 hour. I know you people, everybody's tired and busy. Do you want me to record the rest and send it to you, or you want to stick around? What should we do? I'm gonna ask the boss. I'm sorry, I don't know how come I got so over. Stay, please. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, carry on. Okay, thank you so much. I'll try to, let's do like 15 minutes, and then maybe instead of, we'll see. If you want to stay for meditation, great. If not, I'm going to send it to you as a recorded gift. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So the studies of therapeutic touch and massage, they also show that there is a very significant statistical difference before and after the massage, and especially the massage with essential oils. So if you're gonna do massage, do it with essential oils. Now, this is my favorite study. This is a study of the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. And there were 32 subjects, and they were walking in silence into the pyramid. And then they were laying down there for 2 hours. And while they were in the pyramid, the levels of chakras were at 0, almost total balance. But the coolest thing is that what happened after. So when they measured their glow and energy afterwards, everybody expanded. But those who were originally already before this experiment more conscious, they got much more, they got affected much more by that experience, which of course, you know, if you come with a criticism and if you come with a closed mind, that only shows us, especially those who are therapists here, you know, if a person doesn't want to heal themselves, they're not gonna. Okay. All right. So now there were also studies in various medical, in various religious groups when they conducted prayer or meditation from all over the world, from different religions. The studies show that after the prayer, the energy field of each participant is much higher, but also the energy field of the place. So for example, if you enter into the church during liturgy or service, that place is going to be charged really in a powerful way. And they also have a study of shamans in Peru. 4 little shamans produced the change in the environment that was there for 40 more minutes after their prayer and after their ceremonies. Just amazing. And you know what? They had a control group that measured people who are like, okay, maybe they're just in a good mood. They just watched like a cool video. They just had a good dinner, but that did not produce such change. So they showed that only when we go to a completely different level of consciousness, then the change happens in the environment. Now, very quickly, what do shamans and witches know? How is research able to really support all of these things that are done by shamans and witches? As you know, I have a little bit of education from there too. So shamans and witches know that everything is energy and that energy cannot be destroyed, it's only transformed. As you see, there are two pictures here. One, I'm giving the energy healing to one of my friend, and you already saw how the energy travels. And the second one is I'm using special technique I learned in Siberia. We are taking blocks from the second chakra. This is a gentleman who had sexual problems because there were lots of blockages, right? And we transformed that energy into, you know, I use wax and candles, and his eyes are closed. And it's amazing. Every time I do something like that, his whole body was moving, like the energy was flowing and everything was expanding. So that is, again, we do that, and it's a woo-woo, but you can really now show it with research. I'm almost there, you guys. Okay, so the shamans and witches also know that every emotion has a vibration, right? And this is a vibrational scale developed by Dr. Hawkins, where each emotion can be measured in megahertz. So imagine shame calibrates at 20 megahertz, anger at 100, and love, joy, peace at 500. So the other day I was walking my dog, and there was this woman who got very upset that my dog got close to her. And she told me, I wish you death from coronavirus. And that could be perceived as a curse, right? She doesn't have to be a witch. What is it? When we are saying something with great emotion and it's negatively charged, right? Now we already know that it really does create change of environment. And if I am low, she can hit me. And I intuitively started laughing. So what happened? I went from her hate 100 to my joy, love, peace. And our energies went to different directions. So whenever witches or evil eye or whatever people want to send you, if you are whole and beautiful and you are vibrating high, nobody can touch you. Okay, so that's what they know. They know the aura holes, and they know the different vibrations. And those people who use it in a negative way can do it only if you have those holes. Now, all of this journey brought me to my healing. And I want to show you now, before and after, 10 years, I'm 10 years older since that picture that I showed you. Ready? 2010 and 2020. Look at my blood. Look at the belly. Still need to do some Freddy fasting for 6-pack. Look at the skin. And the most important thing, the joy of life. I've always been an optimist, but I cannot explain the way that I enjoy my life right now and what I do in my work. And I think that all of us, when we understand that we're not just this body, that you are beautiful, vibrant light, you are powerful. And if you're still not convinced and woo-woo, you're a bunch of photons and gases, so you can take that kind of angle. But for me, that is your light and love. And thank you so much. And I went over 4 minutes. Okay, that's not that bad. Okay, good. Freddie, I'm gonna unmute you. Oh, you're unmuted. Mm-hmm.
That's unmuted, yeah. That was fascinating. Thanks, Marina.
Thank you.
I didn't want you to rush because I know everyone's loving it. So I don't know what you're going to do next, whether you're finished or whether you want to do some meditation for everybody. It's entirely up to you. You've been speaking continuously for an hour, so I understand if you're done.
I want to give an opportunity for people to ask questions if they want.
Great. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
And I can do meditation for those who want to stick around, or whatever you want me to do. I can do live in your group, whatever you want me to do.
Do your Q&A. So if anyone wants to ask a question, just switch their mic on and ask the question, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Or rather than just put it in the chat. I think it'd be better if you just speak to everybody, really.
Thank you. Yes, I think that, thank you so much for all of the wonderful words. Thank you. The chat is getting very long. So if you have a question, just jump in and let's talk. And Freddie, you can put me on the gallery view now, so I don't need to be the center of attention.
I can't do that, I don't think. For some reason, I don't have that control here.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
So if you want to put on, just take the spotlight.
I don't know how to, but okay. It's okay. We're not going to spend time. So please, whoever wants to talk, who has a question, jump in.
I have a question, Marina.
Hi, Chat.
It's more of, okay, I understand the everything you said. How can you protect yourself, you know, having your aura without these holes and things that where people can come in? Is there
wonderful question? I think we should have another presentation just on that, because it includes a lot of things. But just in a short, you know, a very short answer, watch what you tell yourself, watch the foods you eat, and watch the people you hang out with, right? Yeah. So that's really the most important thing. You affect the environment and environment affects you. Just remember that. And then you're, you know, you can figure it out. But we can have another presentation just on that.
Thank you.
What do you think about a mediumship?
People who are mediums?
Yeah, because I do a bit of that and I love it, and I do totally believe in it.
I believe in this. I just think that, and also according to Dr. Karatkov, they did actually research on people with special abilities to read the energy and to talk to the different spirits. It's probably, of all people who claim, there are 3% that are real deal. So I believe in them, but I believe that it's very hard to find somebody who is real deal. I know one, I'll send you, here he is, sorry, John Holland. John Holland is a real deal. I met the guy, I've been in his sessions. He's amazing. It's interesting that I have him.
Stop sharing the screen. I think we'll all come up on screen.
Oh, okay, stop sharing.
That's it, yeah.
That's it? Okay, now you can see my real life, not a fancy background. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? I think we can do this, right?
How do you clean? I do have a question, Marina.
Yes.
How do you go about by cleaning your auras or chakras, or are they the same thing?
Is it Laura?
Yes, Laura.
Yes. Well, again, there are so many different practices, right? For chakra healing, for energy healing. Of course, it's just so much to tell you. I use different, I use essential oils, right? Like just the basic stuff that you can find right away, right? I use essential oils. For example, I have one bottle in my car. So whenever we're driving in Chicago, you know, and there are crazy drivers and they're honking and the energy is getting intense, I tell myself, Marina, you are creating your own life. So I take a couple of drops of lavender, rub them through my entire chakra system. And that already, like magic, changes. If I walk into the room and especially after my clients, there's a lot of stuff that is expelled, right, during the session. I use, of course, sage, right? So these are basic things. If we want to go into some detail, again, I want to create probably, if Freddie lets me, we'll create a presentation just for that, okay? For chakras, for auras, how to really protect yourself from that.
Is there a session, is there an appointment that I can make with you that you can do it?
Absolutely. I'll give you my website. Everything is on the website. I'm very transparent on the social media. You can message me, or the best way is to text me. So if you are in Chicago or in the United States, if not, everything on my website. So I'm going to leave you my website. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Marina.
And you can also, go ahead.
What's the name of your website? Just so people can just jot it down. Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to write it down right now.
Well, just put it in the chat. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Marina,
This is Addie here from Australia. I just had a quick question as well. You said that, you know, when you're close to people, you can feel your auras merge and you can feel their energy. Is it actually possible that you're constantly connected and feel their thoughts and what they're doing all the time?
My special talent, gift is to feel the energy. With practice that I've been using it for many years, now I can see it during the session. Now, I want to tell you, I'm a human being and I don't assess everybody all the time. Like right now, I'm not looking, oh, what does Diana have, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that, did I answer your question?
No, so I think I agree what you're saying, because when I'm doing some sessions as well, I can feel people's energy and I can read stuff, but then there are few people that are constantly, I feel connected, and I just, it's sometimes exhausting, even though they're close people of mine.
I'll tell you that close people are the best. They're the best energy drainers sometimes, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. And they might be energetic vampires. They might be, I mean, there is such thing when the people use energies of others, not on purpose, but because they don't have any other source. So I can tell you, I get affected. I got sick 2 times, energetically sick, because I have a tendency to run myself to like so crazy busy. And I love what I do. It's like nothing more interesting for me. So I don't sleep. I don't, you know, I forget to eat sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's when I get bam, and the universe now hits me with a frying pan to show me that it's time to take care of you.
Marina,
thank you so much.
Marina, is the ability you have, is that an ability you're born with, or can you develop it?
I honestly think that we all are, as long as we learn on, you know, how to connect, how to really expand our energy. I think we're all very intuitive and interconnected beings, right? I don't think that I am something special. I just, when I was a little kid, I could like predict people's death because I always had snakes in my dreams. But who doesn't? Children often have that, right? And then for many years, I suppressed that in me. And now I have no idea how it happens, but I don't think it's because I'm so special. I think it's just because I learned how to trust the process and just get out of my mind. So in a session, sometimes I open my mouth and I'm like, what am I saying? How can I say this to people? What's going on? And it's right and it's true. And I'm not saying it, you know, but I think you can do too. It's like hypnosis. Get out of your head, right? If you are, no, I'm not going to have this fingers magnetic. No, I'm not going to do it. Nothing is going to happen. If you allow yourself to tap into that imagination and creativity, then I believe that that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
What's the best way to change the alkaline? Is it alkaline you said?
Yeah.
We need. What's the best way to change that in our body?
I want you to really like take this with, I am not going to prescribe anything because it is individual to different people's bodies, but mostly I had to go into healing routine. There is a regular maintenance routine. So healing, I had 100% alkaline foods and water. I ate for 2 years. I ate only green leaves, cucumbers, avocados. It was not fun. But now I tend to do 80-20. And of course, I'm a human. I can do, you know, if you look up Dr. Young, he has the alkaline system. Again, listen to your body, because I found that after 2 years, it was not enough protein for me. So I'm a pescatarian now, even though they say that fish should be only very rarely. I need to have fish at least maybe once a week because it's not enough protein for me. I'm, you know, I work out all the time. And when I go into yogic diet, where the proteins comes from all of the seeds and things like that, ooh, I gain weight. So that doesn't work for me. So again, listen to your body. Mm-hmm.
Marina, how much of this can you do over Zoom?
I do everything over Zoom. Energy, as you saw today, my wonderful Vincent, he affected the entire universe. Vincent, where are you located?
I'm in Kalamazoo. I'm about an hour north of you.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, still pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive. but I'm sure that it goes through energies everywhere, right? So it works online just fine.
It's amazing.
Marina, you can take a picture of your aura over Zoom as well, or not?
Not yet, but get back to me in a couple of months because something is cooking.
Okay. And
By the way,
your
you
email,
have to come and visit me in Chicago.
your email address didn't come up, or your website rather didn't come up in the chat for me at least.
Oh, because I sent it to. Okay, I sent it to one person. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Marina, do people have their auras photographed for like preventative medicine? I think of in terms when you go to a doctor and they do an annual blood panel, or you know, is looking at your aura an effective way to have that checked like once a year, or?
You know, Julie, that's a good question. I would say yes, because sometimes still we see in the studies that some things that traditional medicine cannot find, the energy machine can. But it's also the GDV devices are really good for that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So how would hypnotherapy fit in all of this? I mean, words are energy as well, I suppose, and affirmations and all of that. So
you are reading my mind. I am going to do research on that. So
okay.
I have not seen research on that yet. So you and I are going to put our researcher heads together and figure it out.
Yes.
And show the world that this is legit.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Marina.
Yes.
I actually work, I'm a Reiki Master teacher, and when I work with animals, even more so, I will have to roll on the ground of somebody's garden and get rid of any negative energy and absorb the energy from wherever I'm working as well. And that really helps me work with the animals. But I definitely find that animals need, with people, you've got some negative energy, you know, you get rid of it yourself. But animals, I really pick it up. So I really have to roll. Doesn't matter, it's a field, I'll roll in the dirt in the field. And then I cleanse myself, and then I work with the animal for there, and it works every single time.
Eileen, I honestly think you know that you have a talent too, right? You're a very intuitive person. You can tell, you sense the energies, you can affect energies, right?
Yes.
What do you do? Do you do anything with that gift?
Yes, I'm a Reiki Master teacher.
My sister, of course. I can tell. Thank you for sharing.
No.
Marina, I was curious, can people actually see auras with the naked eye sometimes? Is that a real thing?
Yes, you know what? I'm going to sit down here because I'm like squatting here. Okay, yes. Honestly, there are people who can see aura, and also, I mean, I could sometimes in the session, it comes to me, I feel it. Like my thing personal is feeling. I just feel how the energy flows. Like I'm like, oh, I can feel the stomach squeezing or something like that. But there are people who see that, and you can actually train your mind to do that. And with years, I've trained myself to do that. I could not see before.
Marina, may I ask a question?
Of course.
Hi. I'm just wondering if you've been working with people with chronic fatigue syndrome, because I've had that in the past, and I'm just wondering what their aura tends to show.
You know, I haven't myself, but I'm sure there are lots of studies, especially that study that I cited. I'm going to find for you. So just,
Thank you. I mean, I'm very well, thankfully now, but I'm just thinking about all the people who are getting diagnosed with long COVID.
It's the energy field that is small. The more, when you expand the energy, that's the fatigue, right? It comes from usually second, third chakra, around that area too, right? But it depends. It can be, we need to see what's the cause of it, right? But it is the imbalanced energy. I think that for fatigue, it's not that difficult to change it energetically. So if you have local Reiki masters or practitioners, you can also go to them, or any of those techniques that I just mentioned today that, research shows that they work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marina, how often?
Hey, Liz.
Elizabeth. Hey, how often do you suggest checking your aura?
Say it again. You got cut off.
How often do you suggest checking your aura?
Liz knows. She got this, right? She got that read. I wouldn't recommend, I mean, if you don't have like medical problems, especially with equipment that just shows your aura and your chakras, I would say like once a year, that's good to see, especially if you work a lot on your energy. If you don't work on your energy, the predominant color of your energy probably stays the same through, you know, through for a long time, because we have predominant color of the energy that also shows some sort of different motivations, personality traits, and things like that. But if you want to, I would say once a year. But if you have medical issues or some psychological concerns, I would do that before the treatment and after the treatment to see if there is a change.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hey, Marina, it's Andy, Chicago.
Hi,
How are
Andy.
you?
Oh, hey, Andy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi,
So,
Andy.
quick question. I
Yes.
love the presentation. I know we only have about an hour or so to listen to you and learn from you. Is there a way you can have some sort of more detailed class for all of us to learn a little bit more and more in detail for us to learn more about this particular presentation? Is that possible at all?
Of course, Andy. I actually want to create a class. I just need to put time into this. Definitely for you mean for chakras, for aura, for how it
Correct.
works, how
Yes.
to. Yes, it now that several people said it, you got to keep me you know, keep me on my toes, okay?
Okay, would love
2021.
that. Please let us
2021.
know. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your presentation, Marina, there's been more people register for this presentation than any of the other presentations we've done. And so, you know, I didn't until, you know, we put this presentation out, I didn't realize how many people were really interested in what you're doing. And it was fascinating, you know, the facts, the way you presented it was great. So I'm sure when you do set your classes up and you do start teaching it, you're going to have a lot of people wanting to learn how to use this. I think as an extra, if whatever therapy we're doing, I think it's an extra kind of string to our bow or another tool in our toolkit. I think it's, you know, it's immense. The understanding anyway that about how energy works. And I'm new to all this, you know, I was very kind of anti what you keep saying call woo-woo. If you can't prove it, then it's woo-woo. But I, you know, as a hypnotherapist, it's the same really. No one can prove what hypnotherapy actually is, yet we know it works. And it's the same with the energy. And I've been running these, as you know, these daily hypnosis. And I forget who it was. I think it was Jackie actually, Jackie Brennan, who said she's seen a big change in the way I work. And that includes getting people to understand the energy they have and the power of love and the energy that creates and how it's not in your body. You know, it expands out of your body. It's not contained in your body. It's greater than that. And once you understand that love, energy, it's not bound by any kind of physical entity. And you imagine it, then it's endless. It ripples out to the edges of the universe. And I started reading about this when I think it was Mike Mandel was talking about fasting, or about energy anyway, and how that works. But the whole planet has a magnetic energy around it. We can't see it, but we know it's there because if you've got a magnet, it's going to point north. In fact, it actually points south, someone told me, but it looks like it's pointing north. But we don't see that energy yet. It's in everything and it goes through everything. So there's no that kind of made me think differently about the way you speak about energy and other people speak about energy. So I think for all of us, it's worth looking into, and it's worth, you know, studying and seeing if all of our real reason for being is the outcome for our client, then we shouldn't just poo-poo anything that we don't understand. We should look into it. So I think it's great, this presentation. Your delivery of it was great. You know, you didn't miss a beat. I thought you were great. I think you're great. You know that anyway. I think you're fabulous.
Freddie, I love you. You know that, right? You are the master of energy, even if you say that you're new to that. You mastered it already. You don't need to consciously understand it.
No, I've given up understanding any of this. Hypnosis, energy, I just accept it now and use it. But you know, just in the time that I've been doing hypnosis, there have been people studying it, researching it over the last 30 years to see how it works. In that time, I've seen over 30,000 clients. I haven't got a clue how it works. And my clients don't care how it works either. They just want the outcome. So it's the same with energy. You know, what you do is fantastic. And I'm sure a lot of people are watching it, are going to look into it. And when you start running your classes, you know, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people learning it. So yeah, that's just my question anyway. It wasn't a question, it's more like a statement anyway.
Thank you so much.
I'll shut up now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for creating this space because, you know, like I always say that we really do attract people who are vibrating on the same, right, scale. And so, Freddie, look what you say that, oh, people signed up for my presentation because of the topic. I think it's because of all of our energies together. I think that's what really is the most contagious thing and the most attractive thing. You know, we can call cool topics and everything and not have it if it doesn't come from the, you know, the energy of love. Like you say, you know, the love energy is the most powerful energy, and research already shows it. So thank you, everybody. You are the lights. Okay. I love you all.
But I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Thanks everyone for showing up and showing up, because that's what we've got to do, haven't we? If we want to learn, we've got to show up for it. So thanks everyone for showing up and being here. I'll say goodbye. I'm going to hand over to Marina. Marina, you know, thanks ever so much for doing it.
Thank you.
You know, it was brilliant. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll mute everybody and say goodbye to everyone now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.